Hello and welcome to Newcastle.
We're in Newcastle with an TP 802 behind us heading to the Lime Street.
My condolences.
Those poor souls.
My condolences to anyone who is trying to drink their coffee on that train and anyone who has to suffer those seats.
They will have an aneurysm. But we are not here for that. We're going to be heading underground to the metro.
We're going to the Tyne Metro because the Tyne Metro Class 555s have just entered service.
Yes, they have.
And there's a lot of hype surrounding them. But we have both seen absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we're going in completely blind.
And we want to really see, is it worth the hype from the passenger's perspective?
Yes, that's what we want to focus on, the passenger's perspective. Are they upgrade for the passenger? How will people on their regular commute feel? And we're going to do a direct comparison between these and the metro cars.
Because from an operational standpoint, they're going to be an upgrade because the metro cars are getting very unreliable due to their age.
They are.
But what we want to see is, are they actually an upgrade for the passenger?
Yes.
And that's what we're going to be looking for in this video. So we will be, as Ewan said, we'll be doing a direct comparison. So we're going to be taking a metro car to South Shields. We're then going to be taking 555 back, and then when we get back to Newcastle, we'll talk about our thoughts, talk about what we actually think is the best from the passenger perspective. We'll do it in a sort of ranking
table. We'll wait that a 5 on several points. We're going in completely with no plan here, so
no plan.
We're completely just going.
We'll rate them based on individual qualities like seat comfort, ride quality, stuff how well built it feels, how sturdy it feels, So we're I think without any further ado,
we're gonna go ahead. Well, you have to get tickets first because I'm getting tickets yet.
Same.
So we're gonna get our tickets, head underground. We will see you on the metro car.
We'll see you on the metro car. Right, and we are here on the metro car.
Yeah, welcome to the metro car, the original Tyne metro fleet, entering service in 1980 when the metro system first opened.
Yeah, and okay, so how we're going to be ranking all of these is we're going to be ranking them on a point system, out of 5, and the total is 30. Right, that's what it all comes to. So let's get into it. So the first category is seat comfort. We've given these a 4.5.
Yes.
So we're going to get into why it's 4.5 in a second, but first let's talk about the seats themselves. They're very good.
They are.
The seats are very nice and plush, hence why they are so high. The seats are really, really, really plush, and
they're very
plush. Don't see anything like this on modern trains.
No, the only thing we will take them a downward side much for is they are not as good on the ergonomic side. You notice when you're sat on, especially the side seats, you are kind of your back is starting to lean forward a bit.
Yeah.
So it does when you're sat at the up-on position, you are kind of leaning forward a bit, which can't do. It isn't not very good for your back. So that's the only side. But they are very, very plush, comfortable, springy.
For a commuter seat.
I have been on intercity train seats worth 800.
Yeah.
Still very good seats. I just think this could be a bit more ergonomic, but That's literally all it is.
That for a commuter train, they're more than what you could ask for.
For a metro train.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that I could compare these to is the seats on the 72 stock.
Not even that, no. I'd say I'd compare these to the seats on the Peps. The original Pep seats.
Yeah.
The original Pep seats, which are actually, these trains mechanically and everything are very similar to the Peps.
They were about the same time. They got the service in 1980, which is the same time the Peps kind of came about.
Yeah. The Peps came in the 70s.
So essentially they're essentially a light rail Pep.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And mechanically they're pretty similar to the Peps. And seat comfort wise, they're similar. Like the actual design of the seat is very similar to the type of seats we had on the Peps.
Oh yeah.
So the next one is ride quality.
5. You cannot
5
get any less than a 5 on these. Like points, bumps, you cannot feel a thing.
You cannot feel a single thing. Now obviously you have the issue that you get with every single light rail train in the history of ever, which is the oscillation. And this has got nothing to do with like the suspension quality of the train or anything. But the reason why these trains oscillate, the reason why every light rail train oscillates is because of the type of thing, is because of the type of wheels, and that's they have conical wheels, and that just increases the effect that we call wheel hunting.
Yes.
And even then, the wheel hunting on these trains, and even on the DLR, is much better than anything I've seen from both Stadler and CAF.
Oh yes, 100%. They're the quality on these. You cannot fault it. It's top notch, 5 out of 5.
And we're putting these in the context of light rail trains, because against heavy rail trains, apart from CAF and Stadler, like apart from those, a heavy rail train will generally be smoother, and that's because they don't have these conical wheels.
They don't have to kind of go into this like kind of the narrow loading gauge of the tube tunnels in the metro system core.
So the reason why they oscillate is because of the conical wheels, but even then they handle it a lot better than systems like the DLR.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like we are going along this bit, completely smooth.
Yeah,
not a single bump
on the track, even going over points.
Yeah,
even at speed, you feel nothing.
Yeah,
cannot fault them at all.
Yeah,
cannot fault them.
They're really good.
Yes,
they are really good. So
next category is
build quality. Now, you might be wondering why build quality. Well, as the passenger, you're going to want to know. You're going to want to sort of get a feel for how sturdy the train is, because I can tell from experience. I felt a lot more confident in the build quality of the Peps than I do in the 710s. So it's sort of a reassuring factor to have a well-built train. And these are like 40 years old.
Oh, going on 50, and they are still
sturdy. They're very sturdy, holding together very nicely. They're very good. Like, the build quality is very solid. Yes, they're old and they're kind of starting to fall apart now, but you've got to put that into the context of they're nearly 50 years old.
Yeah, they are. They are nearly 50 years old. They are top tier when it comes to build quality. So we have given it a 5.
Yeah, we've given the build quality a 5. Now is where the score seems to dip off a bit, and that is in amenities.
Yes, we've given it a 3.5.
Yes.
Now the reason why we've given it a 3.5 is for an old train of this time they are good. They're level boarding, which I think which was unheard of when these trains were first being built in the 70s. They are good for the time, but they don't have modern amenities you would expect in modern trains.
No.
Hence why the new ones will probably be a bit better. Like this train is roasting hot. There is zero climate control here. The only way to get ventilation is to open the windows.
Yeah.
And even when you open the windows, you get the noise and everything in. And they have the heating is very good, but it's actually cooling it back down again that's the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas the new trains, the 555s, will probably have some sort of air conditioning.
Obviously, they don't have like charging points and any of those
charging
things you'd find on
modern trains.
They just don't stack up to modern trains.
No, they don't.
Now we're going to get on to something that's quite surprising, and that's accessibility. We're giving them a 4.5.
Yes, these are really good for accessibility when it comes to how good the trains are. They have And they were one of the first trains in the UK, light rail trains at the time, that had level boarding.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty much unheard of to have a level boarding train in the UK at the time.
Yeah.
So these have level boarding, they have wheelchair spaces. So they were really, really, and I think it was like one of the first fully step-free metros ever in the world, which was a big thing in the 70s. Big thing. Where even places like the Underground still don't have fully level boarding, which it's 100 years old, that's fair. But still, to have a system fully level boarding is pretty, nothing short of a miraculous miracle, is it really?
Miraculous miracle.
Yeah, I say that, leave that in. So yeah. It works, and you can see it's behind is Gosford Depot with a bunch of new 5s in and a launch of metro cars.
Yeah.
And they actually rebuilt the depot. Fun fact, they rebuilt the depot actually, because it was an old engine shed, but they rebuilt the depot a couple of years ago to allow for the new metro trains to start coming in, the new 5s. Anyway, back to the point of the scoring. Where were we?
It was accessibility. Yeah.
So yeah, for the time they were really accessible. So yeah, the only thing I will kind of like skew them off is obviously it goes back to kind of minutes we were talking about kind of what new trains have.
Yes.
And that's the gap between the platform and the doors is it can be, especially on curved platforms, can be quite large. Yeah. So I've noticed people struggling to kind of get the pushchairs and wheelchairs off the trains.
They didn't have these ramps back when they built them, so you can't expect them to have them.
No.
But, and like obviously they don't want the trains just straight up scraping against the platform, because that wouldn't be good.
That wouldn't be good.
But compared to the 555s, which we haven't been on yet,
no,
but we do know for a fact the 555s do have this ramp feature.
We've seen one passing, so we know that'll probably be the next train.
Yeah.
Hence why we're on this one.
Yeah. So we know that they have the feature, so we already know that's gonna bring the 555 up. But yeah, so accessibility still, they're really good for accessibility. They're also completely walk-through.
Yes.
Which, again, you've got to think. I believe these are these were some of the first actually like walk-through trains in the UK.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And now the final category is going to be capacity. Now, for their time, again, the capacity was decent. And, you know, considering they're a 2-car unit, it's decent.
Yes.
But we're going to be giving the capacity of 3.5.
Yes.
And this is because...
2 reasons.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, they are only 2 cars.
Yes.
They are only built as 2 cars. Yes, they are mostly doubled now, but they are still a slight chance it can be a 2-car train, which people have seen. It hasn't happened for a long time, but there have been sightings of 2-car metro cars out and about now.
Yeah.
So there's that, plus the seating layout.
Yes.
It allows for a lot of seats, not much standing room, which people that work on metros now are doing the opposite thing. They want more standing room because it gets more people in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the 555s will do. They'll have slightly less seats, but there'll be more capacity because there's more standing room.
Yeah.
So the capacity of these trains is... But that was a big selling point for 555s, is, it's going to be more capacity. They'll fit more people on metro trains at a time. Plus they are slightly longer, I'm pretty sure, than a 4-car.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to give capacity 3.5 because they don't excel in capacity, especially now as the system's getting more use and they're 2-car trains.
Yeah.
It's like the DLR, you know?
Yeah, yeah. They never would want to run a single DLR car now, would you?
Yeah. So...
that gives the metro car a total a 26 out of 30.
Yeah, so we're going to head to the airport. I know we said we were going somewhere else in the intro,
We've
but...
had a bit of a cock-up, really, with what diagrams are on.
Yeah, but you know.
But we found one, we're going to stick to it, so yeah. We'll take this
that was loud.
Yeah, so we'll take this to the airport, and we will see you at the airport on the 555.
We'll see you at the airport, and then we'll go on the 555, and then we'll go back to Newcastle, and we'll do the outro in the main concourse so we don't get shouted at by Nexus. Right, and we're here at the Newcastle Airport.
Yeah, with the metro car behind us that we just came in on.
Yep, so before we get on the 555, I want to talk a bit about why we're doing this and why we'll do this for every new train that gets introduced.
Yes.
And this is because we believe that a new train to be introduced should be an upgrade in every single way to its predecessor.
Yeah, it should. So, comparing it to how it was before
is the best way to do it, because
to what came before.
if a train is introduced and it's not as good as its predecessor, then something has gone wrong.
Yeah, it's not a good train.
Like,
Simple as.
you take the example of, say, my arch nemesis, the 710s.
Yes.
They are nowhere near as good as the trains that came before them were. They're not as reliable,
they're
they're
not
not as comfortable, they're not as well suited to the routes. They're just not as good. While they will look all flashy and while they have the passenger amenities in lots of different ways, they are downgrades in ride quality, reliability, and all these different ways. They are a downgrade. And that shouldn't be.
It shouldn't. No,
the case.
And again, as you mentioned, for every new train that comes to service and we go on, we will test it against its predecessor.
Yeah.
And if it does not stack up, we will tell you. And we're not going to do it from a veg perspective. We're going to do it from a passenger perspective. Like, if these are my local commuter trains, would I be happy with them?
They should be like a new train should be an upgrade. It should be an
Hence
upgrade.
why we haven't done categories such as thrash and something on the trains, because most people that are using these trains won't care about that.
Yeah.
They just want a good train that gets them to be. That's what we want to test them on.
Yeah. Because so these trains, the metro cars, great. They do need replacing, and we're going to see what replaces them, and we are now going to see and tell you if what their replacement is actually a good replacement, or if Nexus need to think things through and spend more money on trains, because
yes. So,
okay, so we've spent quite a bit of time on the 555, and we have some things to say.
We've gone from, we started at the airport, we're now just between Gate Stadium and Felling.
Yeah.
So we've gone all the way through the course, through the tunnels, and we're now on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some opinions.
Okay.
We've done our rankings and we had an opinion, we'll tell them to you now.
Yes. So, the first one is comfort. Now, these are a massive downgrade from the old trains in terms of comfort.
The seats on these are a lot harder. They're a lot harder than the ones on the Metrocross on the previous generation trains.
Yes.
They do have a bit more ergonomic support than the previous ones. Like, the ergonomic on these do feel better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they still are subpar compared to the old stock.
And I am starting to feel a numb bum.
You do get a bit of a normal after like a couple of minutes on them.
Yeah.
Like, we've been on them for like half an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Then they do not go. So we've given them a 2.5 for comfort.
So bang average, bang in the middle. They're not awful, but they're not good.
Yeah.
They're bang in the middle. They are like, I think if they would have put these on 710s, people would have a lot less complaining.
Yeah,
but they're not as good as the seats that came before.
Yes, into metro trains, I meant for sure hops. I don't think for the hops that you do on these, like end to end, or like say you're going from like say Newcastle or Sunderland, these wouldn't be for the Newcastle or Sunderland runs, or even to the airport, or even down towards Whitley Bay.
No,
you want a bit more of a comfier seat.
So then
we go through ride
quality, and this is a big one.
The next station is Hewitt.
Again, it's subpar.
Yeah, it's subpar, and this time it's this time it's not subpar in terms of like, so the seats are just about on par, right? They're just about acceptable, right? They're not good, but they're acceptable. The ride quality of these trains is subpar.
Going over points, you can feel every lump and bump on the tracks.
Yes.
You're swaying quite more noticeably on these than you are on the metro cars. Yes, they do have better acceleration, but that's not always a good thing. As you were saying, acceleration is not always a good thing.
Yes, and I'm going to get onto this now.
They are very,
so,
very harsh.
I'm dyspraxic, right? Good luck to me if I'm trying to Whoa.
Yeah, that was not, yeah,
Whoa, that was violent.
that's rough.
Good luck to me if I'm trying to stand up on this train while it's braking or while it's accelerating. Because these trains brake and accelerate harsh.
Very harsh. Very, very harshly.
Like, we're talking like electric bus harsh.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The braking and accelerating is very harsh on these trains. It's just not acceptable. Like, especially think of it like, say, winter or wet weather. The floors are slippery. People are going to be coming onto the train. It's going to be slippery. Say someone's dyspraxic or even someone's just not got something to hold on to. The train.
We're going to get people falling over.
Yeah,
it's
going to become a slip hazard.
It's severe. Yeah,
and
the floor is.
I'm actually going to deduct a point from accessibility for that because dyspraxia is a disability.
Oh, okay.
Which this does not cater for.
Yeah, when they're kind of like braking, they're coasting. It's really harsh when the train kind of coasts.
Yeah.
On the accelerator, you can definitely feel it.
Yeah. So ride quality, not good.
2.25. Build quality. Now, the build of them actually we thought was pretty good. Like,
yeah,
they seem pretty solid on the inside.
They seem solid.
Everything seems like well built, well assembled. Doors work fine. Everything's kind of like good, sturdy.
Yeah. We're giving them a 4.
Yeah, we're giving them a 4.
Giving them a very solid, respectable 4.
Yeah,
they're not.
A couple of
nothing's going to be perfect.
Bolts.
Some bits are loose, but respectable 4.
Respectable 4. Yes. Amenities.
This is where it starts to get better.
Yes.
Amenities.
We've given them a 5 out of 5.
They are. The amenities are really good.
The amenities on these is brilliant. You have bike spaces, things you can strap the bike to so they don't fall over. That's excellent. You have wide stop matrix LED screens, and you also have the line diagram screens too, so you can see like whereabouts you are on the journey. You've got USB ports. You've got the lights around the doors that when the doors are kind of closing, green and red. Yeah, they are. Amenities wise, they are. And another thing as well is they have different maquettes.
Yes.
A bit like on the new tube trains, they'll have different maquettes on the priority seats.
Yes.
Which is excellent.
Which is good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Next up is accessibility. Now, we originally had this down as a 5, but I've marked it down.
Yeah, just because
we're going to make it a 4.5.
4.5,
because this does not cater to people with coordination disabilities, what with the fact that these trains brake and accelerate way too harshly. The accessibility in general is a lot better.
Yeah.
You have the metro cars are very accessible in general. You have the level boarding ramps. You have a lot more wheelchair spaces. You have a lot more buggy spaces. You even have bike racks.
There's tram spaces.
Just a lot.
The vestibules will look wide, so you can fit more in.
Yeah, it's a lot more accessible, but they fall really short for people with coordination disabilities.
Another thing I forgot to mention is the announcements on these are a lot louder, so people that are a bit like kind of hard of hearing can hear them better.
Yes.
And they also have SOS points throughout the trains, which the metro cars don't have.
So they're good. That's good.
Yeah. So we go through a 4.5, and then for capacity, last point. Again, the capacity on these is really, really good.
Yeah.
They are an upgrade.
They are a step upgrade as the capacity.
Obviously that does sacrifice seating space.
Whoa.
But when you actually compare like to commuter rush hour metro traffic, they'll be a lot better, able to get more people on the trains, and because they're fully walk-through 5-car units, be able to spread them out more as well. So that is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wish that the Motorville 777s took from these. rather than getting 4-car units and then doubling them up every so often to make an 8-car, they should just order them as an 8. Oh, this is not very. This is. They should have ordered them as 8-car from the get-go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing that needs to do better than the 777s is the capacity.
So now we go to our final score out of 30 now.
Yes.
Which is
22.25 out of 30.
So these lose out. These are beaten by the Metro cars.
They are.
By
Metro cars had 26.
4 points.
Yes, 4 points.
So overall, by our genuinely unbiased ranking system, right? These improved on a lot of factors, but
they've also
downgraded on some of the other really important factors. That overall is a net negative. The old trains are, in general, from a passenger standpoint, are better.
Yes. So yeah, anyway, that has been our review of the 555s. And we will go back up to, we will take this train to Bromley Rims. We will then head back to Newcastle and give our final thoughts on an outro there.
Yeah, so we will see you at Newcastle.
See you at Newcastle Central.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week.
Yep.
I have been Willow.
And I have been Ewan.
And we will see you next week. Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
What?